Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Alfamega, the Grand Hustle Muscle. Yo, B and Nod, y'all some monsters for this. Let's get them. We gon' put this shit in the streets uncut in 4 or 5 grades. We gon' wake us up on 2 triple beans with 4 or 5 trades. You just tell me how you want it, dog. I got 4 or 5 games, and you can get it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can get it 4 or 5 ways. When you sit down and cut them 20s up, you use 4 or 5 blades. And when you front of them bricks, you don't sweat them, dog. You get it 4 or 5 days. Y'all ready for the true show? You just grab a shove and dig 4 or 5 grades, and you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. How you gon' fuck over a man that gave you 4 or 5 blades? Ducking this snow, this coke up nigga for 4 or 5 days. That's what got niggas looking for you now with 4 or 5 Ks. Ready to switch cheese your head and body up with 4 or 5 sprays. And then a nigga standing near you gon' catch 4 or 5 sprays. Don't you know throwaways rip through tissue, dog? 4 or 5 ways. You don't even know what you doing, cause you don't make 4 or 5 slips. This nigga know you laying your hand and he don't got 4 or 5 tips. He don't brought killers in from Miami and they don't make 4 or 5 trips. And I heard they don't kill niggas up on 4 or 5 strips. And you got one punk ass gun, you gon' need 4 or 5 clips. And fuck ducking round one corner, you better make 4 or 5 dips. Nigga, we gon' put this shit in the streets uncut in 4 or 5 grades. We gon' wake us up on 2 triple beans with 4 or 5 trades. You just tell me how you want it, dog. I got 4 or 5 games, and you can get it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can get it 4 or 5 ways. When you sit down and cut them 20s up, you use 4 or 5 blades. And when you front of them bricks, you don't sweat them, dog. You get 4 or 5 days. Cause they come to show, you just grab a shove and dig 4 or 5 grades. And you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. I heard you punks got a robbing crew and you about 4 or 5 deep. And y'all been talking about touching me and 4 or 5 of my peeps. Well, you kicking my front door, I'ma meet you with 4 or 5 treats. And they ain't gon' find your body, nigga, for like 4 or 5 weeks. Spanking and decomposing, wrapped in 4 or 5 sheets. Your head swole up like a pumpkin from the 4 or 5 leaks. And when your mama see the news, her heart gon' skip 4 or 5 beats.
Lord, where y'all found my baby?
Go down 4 or 5 streets. And don't care nothing about them niggas you got with you, cause 4 or 5 of y'all hoes. If I pull this thing and get to spin, then 4 or 5 of y'all goes. I'm trying to tell you, Alfamega too raw to take a 4 or 5 up the nose. He'll make you pull that big 450 kicking 4 or 5 front doors. Nigga, we gon' put this shit in the streets uncut in 4 or 5 grades. We gon' wake us up on 2 triple beans with 4 or 5 trades. You just tell me how you want it, dog. I got 4 or 5 games, and you can get it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can get it 4 or 5 ways. When you sit down and cut them 20s up, you use 4 or 5 blades. And when you front of them bricks, you don't sweat them, dog. You get it 4 or 5 days. Cause they come to show, you just grab a shove and dig 4 or 5 grades. And you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. I got enough paper stacking lane to hire 4 or 5 crews. And supply each killer that come in with 4 or 5 tools. And they don't already told me they hope that 4 or 5 of y'all move. Cause they ain't got no problem with killing off 4 or 5 of y'all fools. Don't you know this shit get it hit it when the 4 or 5 spits. And the blood drip everywhere from the 4 or 5 hits. I done heard 4 or 5 mamas crying, my baby ain't this shit. But they still close this casket from the 4 or 5 rips. Bitch, we gon' put this shit in the streets uncut in 4 or 5 grades. We gon' wake us up on 2 triple beans with 4 or 5 trades. You just tell me how you want it, dog. I got 4 or 5 games, and you can get it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can get it 4 or 5 ways. When you sit down and cut them 20s up, you use 4 or 5 blades. And when you front of them bricks, you don't sweat them, dog. You get it 4 or 5 days. Cause they come to show, you just grab a shove and dig 4 or 5 grades. And you can dig it 4 or 5 ways. Nigga, you can dig it